Ho, ho, ho! Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. If you're a marketer, you're probably already rolling out Christmas campaigns. We know it is here. Oh my goodness, this year has literally flown by. Welcome to September. It will soon be December and it will soon be 2024. Have you looked back on the year? Are you starting to reflect? Are there things you've done better? Are there things you feel like you're beating yourself up too much for? It's time for reflections. It's the third quarter. It's the last quarter of the year. But anyway, not to scare you, I think the older you grow, the funner it is. So let's go to 2024 and see, because 2023 has also been doing the most. But anyway, welcome to an episode that almost did not happen because let me give you an explanation. First of all, apart from it being that time of the year, that time of the month, goodness gracious, am I an elephant? Apart from it being that time of the month, yesterday I was running errands and I just realized how much working from home is detrimental to not even my health per se, but how athletic I used to be. Because yesterday I ran errands for just a little bit and I woke up today feeling like I was digging trenches, like and say for that, today there were literally power cuts. Okay, not today, probably yesterday. There were power cuts. And I was just like, when is this going to come back? Because I need to shoot for the episode. And I just went to bed and I thought to myself, if it doesn't come back, I will have to put up an apology tomorrow. And the feeling of an apology was not just sitting right with me. So right now, literally, it's 1 a.m. is when we're recording this podcast. And I do not care. So long as tomorrow, Monday, you wake up to an episode, that is my goal. And anyway, I would like to remind you that there are partnership opportunities on this podcast. I will put all my contact details in the description. You can always reach me. And welcome to another episode of the In All Honesty podcast. My fabulous name is Oliver Rao, and I asked you, are you single and or celibate and happy? And if you are, how did you get there? First of all, guys, this topic has been postponed from, I think, right around March. That's the time I wanted to discuss it. But I remember thinking, I don't think that many people are single. And I don't think this is a very common view of life where people are just like, no, I don't want to be single. I don't want to be in a relationship. I always thought there's very few of us. It will be a very selfish topic. So I had even thought about making it a bonus at the end of the season 3, just making it a bonus. So then last week, I remember asking myself, Olive, you've always told yourself to just go ahead and do it. It does not have to be something engaging. It just has to be something that is personal to your experience and see if anyone else will resonate with it. So I told myself, okay. Let me put out this bonus episode, this bonus topic that I thought was just bonus because, I think it's only me going through it. And let me tell you, I swear that prompt was not up for 2 minutes. It was not up for 2 minutes. Yo! I swear to you, this is the most responses I've ever gotten for a prompt ever. And I honestly thought I had literally underestimated this topic because I was thinking everywhere you go, relationships are just being pushed in your face, right? You're watching TV, you're listening to radio. I swear to you, a good percentage of all the podcasts online right now are talking relationships. So me, I just thought, no, I don't think anyone out here is really just single and liking it, right? So I was really, at some point I was scared of touching my phone because I was just like, if I get any more responses, I'm going to lose it. But I am so grateful. It affirmed so much about me. Everyone else who was actually responding was just like, oh my goodness, I thought it was just me. Oh my goodness, I thought I was broken. No, you're not. So people are single by choice, some by circumstance, some by as a way of, some are healing, some are responding to traumas, but everyone is that. But we have such a whole community of people who are single. We have quorum, guys. We can start our own community, and what people are at different levels, people are at different timelines, but there's so many people who are single. They feel happy. Some are confused, but you're content in your singlehood. And I just didn't know there's other people existing out there. Even in my own friend circles, even when in circles that I go to, I sort of become the third wheeler, the extra person all the time. So I was just like, I don't think singlehood is a thing. I don't think, maybe I'm living in my head. My goodness. My goodness. I don't know about this episode. I have like 100 tabs open here. We'll just call it a response reading, an mail reading, a letter reading episode, because I don't think I'll even have the time to put on my own thoughts. But let's get straight into it. Are you single and or celibate and happy? And how did you get there, if at all you are? Please be reminded that I do put out my prompts, my podcast prompts, every Thursday around mid-morning. Usually by 11 it's up. If it's too late, by 12 noon it should be up. So you can interact with it. That is on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. They go up all the same. So you can always interact with that. And I usually have it on my IG stories and Facebook, where I get direct responses. And that's what I'm going to start with right now. So I'll just remind you, are you single and or celibate and happy? And how did you get there? The first person here told me single, celibate, and happy. Peaceful and apparently content. I don't know why you say apparently as if you don't believe it. But yes, men can lie. Men can disappoint. And at the end of the day, it's not worth my mental health. I recently discovered your podcast, and thanks for sharing stories that resonate with me. I have so much love for you. And yes, it is not worth your mental health. I do agree. A lot of people have realized that actually in this space because of previous heartaches. And they're just like, you know what? I'm not about to deal with that again. And I love that for you. You say it's peaceful and content. You know, a lot of times when we settle for single, we think we'll get to a point where we feel like we're missing something. And then you realize you're just living your life. And honestly, you miss nothing. Like you're okay. There's nothing missing in that life that you're living. And it's mind-boggling. Yeah? Someone else says, having to explain to ask permission whenever I want to switch off my phone and have some, you didn't finish your thought. I guess the character limit cut you off. But basically explain. Why weren't you available? Why didn't you answer my phone? Why haven't you responded to my text? Where are you? Who are you? Yo, show me. I feel you. The living without explanations is so beautiful. And I remember my biggest reason for leaving home. I think I've mentioned it in previous episodes. When I wanted to leave home, it's not because I wanted to do anything out of the normalcy. I just hated answering questions. I hated answering questions. Like, where is the money we gave you? What did you use the money for? Where are you from? Where are you going? I hate answering questions, even from like family. And I try my best to do my best at work so that I also don't have to answer questions. And usually I feel myself feeling like I'm right at the edge if I have to answer especially questions that don't make sense at work. You know, those people who just are looking for you, those ones. So I understand. No explanations. Life is good. Someone else says delusional. The idea of single and happy is delusional, or I don't know. That's the only thing I can pick from that. But if you gave me more context, probably I wouldn't take it out of context. Someone else says, I love myself too much to put myself through some shit. Yeah, that's true. Because the level I realized, the more willing I was to be single, it was as a result of how high my standards were getting. So when I got to a point where I was just like, by the way, I don't want anyone, all of this, it was because I was just like, my standards are up here. And my standards are not just delusional. the standards I'm setting for the people I want in my life are literally what I am offering them. So I realized if you just can't match up to this, and the more your standards are higher, the more you're just going to sit in the comfort of, yeah, we're good, you know? Someone else says, dating in Nairobi is the ghetto. So I decided to not try anymore, and I am happy. That is true. Character development over and over until you get to a point you're just like, the heart also deserves rest. Apart from pumping blood, it is out here running with Luo men. Can you pick a struggle? Someone else says, so season 3, you have decided to become personal. Yani. What did you expect me to do? See, I've been personal ever since. Just because season 3 has come home. It's now sitting with you in your living room. I love it. Someone else says, constant heartbreaks and disappointments got me here. Yo. It's true. I would have loved for us to have gotten here just autonomously. I sort of resent the idea that all of us are here and we're grateful to be here and we're grateful for the experiences we've gone through for us to be here. But I don't like that it takes disappointment and consistent hurt for us to get there. I just feel like there should be an easier way to life. And I've said this about other things, the way we are now into self-awareness, building your self-esteem. Yes, you got here because you went through some traumatic experiences, but I usually say, I really would like it to be that you got here just because, not because there was a very traumatic thing you had to get over. But yeah. Someone else says, hey, nikiwa na nguvu nitarudi. Wacha nilambe glucose polepole. It's been hectic. Oh, take a break. It's okay. Whenever you're ready, I'll be here. Someone else says, happy because I'm slowly turning into a gym rat and I'm loving it. My goodness. When you become like single and celibate, you start to channel your energy in different other places that are usually quite progressive for you. They actually make you grow in some way, and it's usually beautiful to watch. I have mentioned before that when I'm dating, I feel distracted. When I'm not dating, I find myself doing like a million things. My podcast is up. I'm running social media content. CJ, I'm doing what event? So I realized I don't know the science behind it, but the peace of mind you achieve from being single and not having to worry about the relationship dynamics, I don't know, saves you a lot of energy, especially mental energy, to just channel somewhere else. And usually it's channeled to something that is healthier, and we love it. Someone else says, the fear of men, I beg. Fear men. We've been told to fear women as well, but fear men. Women are retaliating to what men have done. And someone else says, when you stay single for long, you look at people in relationships and refuse to participate. You realize a lot of people just want to partner. They don't care if it's the right person or not. Also, breaking your celibacy is almost never worth it. This touched me down in my soul. That last statement, down in my soul. So I've said before, I'm single and celibate, but never intentionally. Like, I just fall into that space where I'm mostly single. But I remember being celibate for a long while, like maybe 3 years. And then, because it's not intentional, I was just like, if someone comes by who I'm feeling, I could probably have sex with them. And last year that happened, and it's never worth it. It sure will never be worth it, especially if you're intentional about your celibacy. If you're the kind of person who's just like, I'm celibate because of this and that, if you dare break that celibacy, it's going to be something weird. I'm not saying traumatic. It's just going to be like, the sex could be underwhelming, or now you'd have gotten yourself into a situationship that just doesn't make sense, and you're looking at this person and you're just like, yeah. So, yeah. Most of the time it's never. Or you find yourself in such a happy place, and then now you have someone who doesn't have as good manners, and now they've introduced some sort of inconsistency back in your life, and you're just like, was it really worth it? Yeah. And the first part, you say you look at people who are in relationships and it's not giving. This is exactly what I've been telling my relatives. Every time they ask me, oh, Olive, no, not when they ask me, because they don't usually ask. A lot of them try to throw jabs at me with that. They're just like, you don't have, you are talking and you don't have. But I'm just usually like, who are you talking to, you? Your relationship with your husband is not giving anyone encouragement to be in marriage. Please sit down. So yes, relationships are supposed to be beautiful. I believe Cinderella romantic relationships exist. The Disney delusional kind of relationships exist. The Prince Charming who sweeps you off your feet and you live happily ever after. I believe it exists. But whatever people have decided to settle for out here, I'm just like, if that's the standard, no thank you, I'll pass. So yeah, I'm getting you. Someone else says, gosh, I said I wouldn't do explanations because it would take us a while. Okay, someone else says, it's been 2 years. Singlehood is heaven. Full of peace. I'm not trading this for anything. I am right there with you. You cannot pay me enough to trade in the life I live right now. Like, when it comes to singlehood, I was just... Someone else says, Nairobi. Not happy, still dreaming of Prince Charming, but definitely peaceful of current single situation. Just because you're still dreaming of your Prince Charming, or just because you're still a romantic, does not mean that you're not happy in your singlehood. You still can be. Because let me tell you, us who've chosen to be single, to be specific, let me speak for myself. I am hell one of a romantic. In fact, my Christmas rom-coms are already queued. I want to start watching. I love romance. I love the feeling of love. I love the feeling of care and being cared for. I love gifts. I love cuddles. I love everything that love encompasses. But I just don't want to do this with people who don't want to put in the work and commitment. And that's all. So I'm just like, these are the standards for what love looks like for me. And if love does not meet those standards, hey, but let me tell you, I still feel like if Prince Charming comes and sweeps me off my feet, yo guys, I'm changing my entire brand to romance is real. Someone else says, single, I was told Nikona Roya Shetani for not forgiving him when he messed up big. Now, this is the traumas I'm talking about. You had a partner who did his own thing. You decided to walk away, and still you became the victim for it. And still you became the perpetrator. You became the one who was guilty. You're the one because people will do things until you react, and then now you're the bad person. But I'm happy you're here. I'm happy. Whatever got you here, it's a good place. And being single gives you autonomy. It gives you independence. It gives you so much peace and contentment that nothing can match. And if there's one thing I have said in my life, I am grateful for, and my mom keeps saying it is that my daughter was blessed with the spirit of contentment. Let me tell you, I have aspirations. I have dreams. There's things I'm working towards, but ever since I was born, the things I have, like these clothes I have, they could be torn, but the fact that they are mine, I'm good. I'm fine. I love them and I cherish them because they are mine. This space that I have, it could be as small as a toilet, but it's mine. I love it. I'm very peaceful and happy to have it, and it is mine. So I think for me, the blessing has always been living in contentment. And when you're content, you live such a happy life because it eliminates the spirit of competition. And sometimes when you're competing with other people in your head, it's quite exaggerated because you feel you actually become too hard on yourself and not and not even put yourself favorably against other people. So yeah, contentment is a huge thing. Someone else said, actually, I'm at a point in my life where I'm mixed up. I want to be loved, but I enjoy being single. It's it's not a mix up per se. You need to understand that two things can both exist. You can be single and happy and still want a good romantic relationship. It does not mean you don't have to pick and choose between one and the other. So don't worry, you're okay. It's not so much confusing. You just want both things. You want the peace you're accessing as a single person, but you also want whatever comes with the love and romance. But it has to be on your terms and at your standard, which is good. You are good. You're not even one bit confused. Don't you worry. Someone else said, it's just sweet. Yani, very sweet. The only problem is that happy, peaceful wait. I need new bras and jeans. I feel like this was very important to note because people don't tell you how much weight you gain from peace. Okay, my body gains weight from my mental state. If I'm stressed, I lose weight. It does not matter. Even if like workload at work increases, I will lose weight involuntarily. If I'm happy and literally thinking of nothing, I literally add on kilos when I go on vacations. Literally, I can come back with like 1-2 kgs easy in a week. But yeah, that's the thing. When you're peaceful, I feel like I've also added weight over the past probably 3-4 years because I was just not thinking. As I've told you, the amount of energy that you dispense into romantic situations, that energy is so much. When you keep it to yourself, you realize, man, you were using so much. A lot of it was being used up on a relationship. But yeah, we'll get to learn about the sciences of it. Someone else says, I'm trying to see if I've skipped anything. Single, I told you, Chafu, Nairobi. Okay, we're good. We're all caught up. Someone else says, oh yes, I'm very happy being single. Don't need to report to anyone when I want to do anything, and I love it here. Autonomy. I do what I want when I want. I like how the guy who plays the violin in High Strung is a movie. There's the guy who plays the violin. He has an accent. I don't know where he's from. But he says, every time I think of autonomy, it's his picture that comes to my head when he says, I do what I want when I want. But not reporting. Every day, you must take your report form to your partner. Today, I was at work. I was doing this. I did not answer your call because I was in a meeting. Leave us. Someone else says, all I can say is that the peace and clarity that comes with celibacy is unmatched. As I've told you, the energy that you're dispensing into relationships can be a lot. And when you save that energy, you just realize it's peaceful, yo. It's peaceful. There's no other way of explaining it. Someone else says, lies, this. I'm sorry if you've never been single. I'm sorry if you've never tried celibacy. I'm sorry if you're not content with yourself. But I promise you, it's very peaceful. Someone else says, just decided. Oh, you're new. We love to have you here. Just take your time. Go through the motions. It's not easy. I don't even think there's a set of rules. I don't even think people know how to operate in single and celibate situations. I don't know if you just go with what you're feeling. But ultimately, always choose your happiness and choose your peace. Choose yourself first. At any particular point where you find yourself debating about picking something for yourself or someone else, always choose yourself first. By being a healthy person, the people around you who care and love for you will also access a healthy environment. So always think of it that way and don't think of it as being selfish. When you're a healthy person, when you're a happy person, the people around you also access you in a very healthy way. That's nice, right? Someone else says, I didn't. You didn't what? I guess what was the prompt? Are you single and or celibate and happy? And how did you get here? Oh, you didn't get here. You're not there yet. It's okay. If that's a space you're willing to explore, it's okay. As I've told the previous person, just take your time. Go with the emotions. Whatever you're feeling, trust your instincts and go with that. So take your time. There is no hurry, especially in Africa. If you're outside Africa, you can try and hurry, but there's literally no hurry. Take your time, understand yourself, ultimately choose yourself in any situation. Whenever there's a place that needs you to choose, and one of those options is you, always pick that. Do not even debate. But that brings us to the end of my short responses directly to my prompt. So I will move to longer responses. And let me tell you, this time there wasn't even like slightly longer responses. I was just getting essays. I was sitting on a gold mine. I did not know this. I am so happy we are having this episode. You have no idea. I love it. Love it. Okay, so someone here told me, when I remember how I used to ask for permission whenever I wanted to switch off my phone and have some quiet time and couldn't go anywhere without consulting, never again. Like the famous meme says, people in relationships are out here apologizing for taking a nap. Hey, now I can go wherever I want, whenever I want, take as long as I want without having to explain to anyone. And isn't it lovely? Just as I said again, the autonomy, it's beautiful. I won't go into a lot of explanations because these things explain themselves and we have like 300 tabs to get through. And someone else says, you just avoid a lot, to be honest. Also easier on my mental health. Relationships were a trigger. That is true. And it is okay. I'm not in the psychology field. I'm not a specialist. But I would tell you this, if you're healing or going through something, not going through something, if you're healing or just basically trying to deal with a particular trauma, in that point, if you don't have someone in your life who's already a support system, like let's say a husband who, like your relationship is healthy, a wife who your relationship is healthy, a boyfriend, significant other who you have a very good relationship with, they're supportive, you're supportive of them. If you don't have that healthy relationship, while you're healing, while you're in therapy, while you're trying to do things for yourself, I would highly advise not starting a relationship. I would highly advise staying single. And if you can, celibacy. Especially if you're dealing with a particular trauma, if you're going through healing. Singlehood and celibacy creates so much clarity, you have no idea. And I honestly believe that there's no statistics to prove this, but I honestly believe that your healing process or your journey will get easier and faster if you're single and celibate. I swear, I believe it. Because I feel like it took me such a short time to get to where I am when it comes to self-awareness, a healthy self-esteem, healthy like self-love. I feel like it took me such a short time because now I was deliberate and all my energy was concentrated in me now being a better person for me and the people around me. And I feel like if you are single and celibate, that happens. But I don't know. You can take my word for it or not. Now we get into the stories. Hello, Olive. Kindly hide my ID. So yes, I am single and happy, but this is not a decision that was easily made. I love the comfort and reassurance of relationships, just knowing that somebody loves you to bits. But for me, after relationship failures that I've had in the past, dating a married man without knowing and finding out that another one had been hiding some secrets from me, I decided to call it quits. I have been single for the past 3 months, but the suitors just keep coming. So far, there are 3 men, including Amubabas, that I'm currently weighing my options and perceptions about them. And the more I get to know them, is the more I just want to remain single. Sex is not a problem as long as my right hand is functional. For context, I am a man. Okay, then I can stay single and happy. Maybe an FWB relationship with one man would work out. Nothing more, nothing less. That would be the best decision for my introverted self. The dilemma that I am currently facing is how to tell the 3 of them that I am not ready for a relationship as of now. Thank you. Sending lots of love. Loads of love to you too. Now, while we continue to chat after this, but we did agree that you know exactly what you want to do. And of course, you've already gauged the 3 men that you're involved with. And you know the different dynamics that we already discussed in the chat, the different dynamics that they all have. And I love that you actually said that in your hearts of hearts, you know exactly what to do. You just need a nudge, or you need an affirmation, or maybe sometimes you just need to share it with someone out loud for it to provide some sort of, to erase the fog around it maybe. But 3 months is 3 months is good. Congratulations. 3 months is good staying single. Of course, there's always the temptation to just fall back into the comfort of those things that relationships offer, like, the sweet, sweet things, the 2 lovey-doveys, the 2 cuddles. It's nice, but if you intentionally just want to work on yourself, you know what to do. You know what you're going to tell all the 3 men. You know if you're going to stick with an FWB, because also, guys, it doesn't mean that if you're single, you must be celibate. Celibate is just for other people who like it. But if there are people who can stay single and maintain FWBs. They work really, really well for people who are a bit sexually active. So singlehood does not necessarily eliminate the aspect of sex. And even if you're having casual sex like FWBs, there's still, there's rules of engagement. It's not now just casual. There are people who have casual sex, but with a standard. Just because I'm having casual sex does not mean I'm gonna sleep with anyone. No, even if it's casual, there's still some standards they have to meet. So I'm wishing you all the best. You've done well so far for yourself, and I hope you get some clarity and you get things out of the way, and I hope in a year's time, we'll check in and see how far you are, okay? Someone else says, sex with me is so amazing. Insert Rihanna's voice. I haven't seen that when Rihanna says that. Does she actually say it? If she does, I need to see it for context of how to voice it. But anyway, I enjoy fucking myself. I'm shocked and surprised and funny enough happy. Men, let me heal from the damages done before I think of these creatures again. Heartbreak inaweza kufunza self-love design ingine hapo hadi unakuwa mtu muwise. You start journaling and shit, anga eating healthy, minding what you consume. Gosh, I'm learning myself daily, like, bitch, where was you? Ulikuwa umejificha wapi, babe? Who is this? Ata si plan kurudi anytime soon. We good. It's okay. Lovely. You can still get your orgasms, right? And you're in such, I love it. You're in such a happy place. And when you said relationships can sometimes push you into doing healthy things, you see, I told you, my self-awareness and self-love journey was jump-started by a heartbreak. Zoom. Then you realize, wait a minute, this car has to go. And it's me who has to push it. So I really, really love it for you. And again, we've said, all that energy that you dispense in relationships goes into places that are most times a healthy place. So you won't find yourself cleaning yourself of relationships and then going to do drugs. A lot of times when you're single, when you clear out the fog, when you remain single, you move to CG. What she's saying here, healthy eating. The people, the person who said they're now a gym rat. You know, you're doing things. You're journaling. Those are things you didn't do earlier on. So I love it. It's so wholesome to see. Someone else says, I'm really excited for this episode. At the start of the year, my main goal was to be celibate, mainly because I was just exhausted with relationships. I honestly tried, and it really took the heavy load away from me because I was so insecure about never having a boyfriend and experiencing intense type of love. With time, I just realized how much of an avoidant I am, and with a little bit of emotional control, sneaky links are not that bad. To me, love is like punching a wall. It never breaks, but still hurts my fingers. But in all honesty, in true fashion, most of my celibacy has been involuntary, but I've been actively declining any advancements to be intimate in any type of way with anyone. My breakthrough was when I got to listen to your podcast 2 seasons in, and I felt okay not wanting to be in anything intimate because I really like my space and I just felt understood. So thank you, Olive, for being a woman I could look up to and see that a single life isn't that bad. I've never been more happy in my life. If my people knew I am here inspiring people to not get into relationships. But thank you so much. I love this. It really warms my heart. It's beautiful. And you see how much these affirmations work for people. Like when you think is not a big deal, because I really thought being single and celibate is not a big deal. And when this prompt went out, it was so affirming of every single decision I have made probably in the past 4 years. And I was just like, yo. So it does not matter how confident you are in your decisions, whether it does not matter how good you think you are with what you do. A little affirmation really goes a long way. So just learning that someone else is experiencing something you're experiencing, just learning that someone else took a decision that you at the time were thinking is a bit unconventional, and they look like they're happy and they're thriving. And it just gives you that last nudge that you needed to get into that space. And I love it for you. My goodness, I love it for you. But as I have said, single does not necessarily mean celibate. So if you're single and you're a sexually active person, especially if you're a hypersexual, you can still get your sneaky link here and there and also have very clear boundaries. You've said with a little control on your emotions, you can have a sneaky link. I love that for you. It's beautiful. Sorry. Another person says, was this the long one? This one was long. Hey, yo. So another person tells me, I have been single for almost 5 years now. Tried 2 casual relationships during that period of time, only to realize that I'm not the type to do situationships because I thrive in clarity and I like accountability. I just decided to chill, get myself a dildo, and focus on how I'm going to get money and vacate this country for greener pastures. I realized that the reason I am choosing to remain single is because I'm sort of carrying trauma from my parents' marriage, which had my mom suffer for long, mainly because she wasn't financially independent, and this changed my perception towards men. I usually feel like they aren't reliable and I have to get my finances together. First, as a contingency plan, ya wakati atanigeuka. This even makes me scared of having sex right now. Juu naogopa ball, juu sina pesa. Even if a rich man was the father, nitakuwa too stressed and anxious about the possibility of him kunitesa. I know this isn't the best way to look at things because I should probably start being positive and realize that it's possible to get a good man that you can rely on and not worry that one day he'll leave. About the choice of remaining celibate due to fear of pregnancy, I know kuna contraception, but Z who fail sometimes. Na pia, I'm a doctor and I see how women are struggling with PID just because their partners won't get treated, so they keep reinfecting them. Also, majority of the friends and family are discouraging me juu vile wao wanasafa low-key in their relationships or marriages. Kwanza those who have kids. Currently, I'm enjoying the peace, and to be honest, I'm not longing to be in a relationship. I feel fulfilled and find intimacy in my friendships. Pia get too comfortable in my singlehood hadi I go on solo dates. Replying to men's texts, agreeing to go on dates, and maintaining interactions with them feels so tasking nowadays. But I'm still open-minded. Maybe kuna mmoja who will swipe me off my feet and I will feel secure because clearly I am an overthinker and an anxious person. Problem is, sijui atanipata wapi because I barely leave my house. Woo! That's for us who are looking for love. We said we want our Prince Charming to come and sweep us off our feet. From where? From where? You live in your house Monday to Monday. But as I said, we paid our rent. We are getting our money's worth. Yeah. But anyway, your singlehood a lot is inspired by what you saw, the dynamic between your parents, and you say your mom was mostly disadvantaged, especially because she wasn't financially stable. And financial abuse is very common in marriages, especially in the foundation of most African relationships, where it's the man who provides and it's the woman who now takes care of the house. Without money, you can't do anything. Without money, you're typically useless. So if someone doesn't have their own money, it makes them susceptible to abuse from the person who has the money. So that's where your fear is coming from. But I'd also like to tell you that there is no right and wrong way of being single or choosing to be single. Just because you're single from a trauma does not mean your singlehood is viewed negatively than someone who's just single from vibes, right? No. Your singlehood is valid. Your reasons for being single is valid. And you don't have to apologize for them. Don't shrink in them saying, I know it's not a good reason I know it's not a healthy reason. I understand where you're coming from with that. Like, you need to work on that trauma. But at the end of the day, the things you're working towards are genuinely what humans generally should work towards. Financial independence is something that should be at the top of your priorities, male or female. So you're working towards the right thing. And yes, most of the time, apart from financial priority being just something good for yourself, you said it's a contingency plan. Yes, you need it as a contingency plan. That is why we all work for money. You want to work for your own car so that you can live and not necessarily wait for people when you want to leave a particular place. You want to work for a house so that you're not at the mercy of someone when you cannot afford to pay for it. You want to work for money so that when someone doesn't want to give you something, you can go buy it for yourself, right? So at the end of the day, the money we work for, apart from luxury and just being comfortable, it is definitely a contingency plan. It doesn't matter how you look at it. We all work for money for contingency. At one point, or right now you're saving, right? You're investing. What for? In the future, right? In case you want to have access to this money coming in paycheck to paycheck, then you have a backup. Money will always be a contingency plan, and don't even feel guilty about it. Yes, you should have enough money to support yourself and your family in the future. If anything, if your partner turns on you. Now, the idea of always being in a relationship and feeling like your partner will always leave, that's something to work on now. It is an okay feeling it's okay to know. No human owes you anything. Someone can date you today and leave you tomorrow. They do not owe you anything. Well, they do technically if you're in a relationship, but usually you can't hold them. You can't take them to a court of law and say they promised loyalty, so they need to pay for it, right? So apart from that, it's still coming from a healthy place because you're also just trying to make sure you're protecting yourself. And as we say here, in all honesty, you need to pick yourself all the damn time. When there's a choice you need to make, one of the options is you. We are picking you. Unless it's apples and mangoes, we can eat any fruit, it's fine. But I love this for you. I love that you're in that space and you're enjoying the peace and tranquility that comes with singlehood, and you're getting your money right. I hope you can be able to access therapy so that you work on those things that are traumatic, because again, you might get to a point where now you've achieved this autonomy, but you'll find yourself approaching some things with a lot of aggressive energy because you're trying to protect yourself and not so much considering what other people have to offer. So balance. At the end of the day, there's a very delicate balance right there. But I am wishing you all the very best. Now, that is all I got from direct messages. Now I'm going to go into emails. We got mail. And let me tell you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll get through them. Don't worry. Is my mouth running dry? Let's try the first one before sipping on some water. Okay. If you hear me read funny, please forgive me. Sometimes I struggle to not read Kiswahili. I read Kiswahili, but I think for people who interchange it, in my head, I have to switch between Kiswahili and English, so I find myself sometimes with a lag somewhere. But forgive. Forgive, sister, okay? I'm also learning. I'll become better in reading 700 languages very fast. So, my first mail here says, "Hi, Olive, how you doing?" They actually said, "Enjoy Tribiani's voice from the show Friends because I am finally happy to mefikiwa." How you doing? Oh my goodness. I love Joey so much and I love Friends so much. You touched a soft spot. But anyway, you say, "How did you get to single and happy? I don't know where to start. Ikuje vile itakuja." Let me tell you this. It looked like a PowerPoint presentation. Strike one. Huwa mnasema mademu wanajua kumove in. Hamja kutana na machali wanajua kumove in. Olive, I kept asking myself why I agreed to have someone move in with me in my house. Anytime I asked him, this guy would gaslight me. He would make it seem like it was my fault that he was there because I once asked him for his company while he was in Nairobi, and he traveled back to Kisumu to see me and never left my house until we broke up. Yo, what do you mean? Homosexuals. People are out here homeless just waiting for one call and you can move cities. Time to take a pee break and stretch. When you come back, click on the next episode for part 2 of Single, Celibate and Happy.